between worlds, no longer creatures of the high sky, not yet comfortable as creatures of the ground. The survivors and the newly shaped stood side by side, facing a future neither of them could truly sense. They hung between worlds, no longer creatures of the high sky, not yet comfortable as creatures of the ground. The survivors and the newly shaped stood side by side, facing a future neither of them could truly sense. Even the paths of water bent around the movements hidden deep below. Even the paths of water bent around the movements hidden deep below. Pressed by a changing world, they began to search for stretches of land and sky that felt less broken. This generation's strength lay not in great heights, but in enduring many small, hard steps. Every place that seemed safe now carried a hidden cost. At the edges of their known world, the land still held echoes of what it had been before.
Here, the sky bit less deeply into their lungs. They could not return to the world that had been, but they might find pieces of it that hurt less.
Behind them, the old home shook and smoked. Ahead, the unknown lay in silence. It could not give names to what had happened or what was coming, only feel which way hurt less to face. Here, they tried once more to place their future closer to quiet.
The quiet intervals between disasters grew shorter and thinner. Instinct told every creature that something larger than hunger or sickness was gathering.
The world itself had begun to tear along new lines. The place that had shaped their lives, their deaths, and their changes. It had outlived attacks from the sky and sickness from within, but not even it could outlive the bone. Every tremor that passed through the stone also passed through their bodies. The ones shaped by crisis now faced a choice no instinct could fully. To see further, they had to enter the very element that had nearly destroyed them before. The ancient planet was rearranging itself in ways their small bodies could barely endure. No call could explain what they had seen. The youngest only felt that the world itself had become more restless. Every sense told them that the time for simple adaptation was ending. For one brief stretch of time, predator and prey watched the same distant threat with the same fear. The sky began to throw pieces of the world back down upon them. To protect what might come after them, they had to become shields against the sky that had once carried them. The ancient valley and its high edges now lay inside a moving shroud. Through burning, dust-filled eyes, they watched the ending of the world as they had known it. On a changing planet, they shrank into a handful of stubborn, breathing shapes hidden in stone. Under the falling gray, the shapes of their bodies mattered less than what they all faced. The storm finally began to spend itself, but what it had already changed could not be undone. For the youngest, the idea of rising again was not a memory, but a possibility. The bodies that carried old stories
and the ones that carried new forms waited together.
On this prehistoric planet, every age of danger left behind a new kind of survivor. Layer upon layer, the stone kept the record of who they had been and who they were becoming.
On this ancient planet, every answer the living found was only a pause before the next question.